So here is the description of our complex engineering activity of signal processing subject lab. It is a off-grid communication system in which we will transmit the signal from two ESP32s without any external source like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So here we are using the modules, and the circuit diagram is shown before you, and we are coding through the Arduino. The circuit description and the Arduino code will be described by my partner Saj.
So here we have the circuit for the off-grid communication. Basically, in off-grid communication, we just don't have to use any cellular networks, any internet connection. We have to do it otherwise. Now, are multiple ways to perform an off-grid communication. It can be done by communicating two microcontrollers with each other, like we have used two ESP32s and have used their inbuilt communication protocol, that is ESP32, that is known as ESP32 now. So it doesn't includes any sort of Wi-Fi, so it is considered as an off-grid communication. And some other methods that we can use is by using an LORA module, that is basically a long-range module that also transmits the signals from one circuit to another. So now let me describe the circuit a little bit. On the left side you can see the circuit of the transmitter. Now we are basically just sending some sort of an analog signal through the microphone to the receiver, and when the receiver receives that analog signal, it has a buzzer attached to it along with an OLED LCD. The OLED LCD displays the analog value of the analog value that is being received by the microphone. As you can see right now, the screen is showing the analog signal value as 0 because we are not transmitting any sort of signal. And when this receiver receives some sort of signal from the microphone, the buzzer turns on and it indicates that it has received a signal, thus enhancing and showing us the off-grid communication has been enabled. So now I'll be explaining the both circuits and their circuit wiring to you. In the transmitter side, we have used an ESP32 DevKit S module. It is one of the most commonly used ESP32s, and then we have a microphone module. It's also a simple and a cheap microphone module that is basically just used to detect noise. It isn't used to transmit the proper voice signal. It only detects noise and sends an analog value. Thus, we have now coming towards the circuit wiring. The lower rail of this breadboard has been common grounded with the ESP32, and the upper rail of this breadboard has been given the supply from VCC. Now what we are doing is we are giving the supply from the laptop to the ESP32, and then we have a common ground and a supply. The supply is then being given to the microphone, and the ESP32's common ground is also being given to the microphone, and the analog pin of analog pin of the microphone is connected to the pin 32 of ESP. Now moving towards the receiver circuit. In the receiver circuit, as I told you before, we have a buzzer, we have an OLED, and same ESP32 S module. Now we are giving the supply to the receiver signal using a LiPo battery. It's a 3.7 volt LiPo battery that is being used. We are using this because if we want to demonstrate the circuit by standing at some distance of 15 meters, we can then simply demonstrate it. Now moving towards the starting towards the receiver circuit. In the receiver circuit, as I told you before, we have used a simple buzzer that only gives a beep sound when this analog signal is detected, and OLED that displays the analog value of the signal being received, and a LiPo battery that is used to give the supply. Notice that over here we are not using the laptop as a supply for this circuit because we have to do the off-grid communication upon a certain distance. To demonstrate this, we also show you later in the video. And now moving towards the circuit connections, we have connected the SLA pin of the OLED to the pin 22, and the SLC pin of the OLED to the pin 21 of the ESP32. And on the other hand, the buzzer has been connected to the pin 13 of the ESP32. And then again we have the common ground with the ESP32 and these both devices and the LiPo battery, and common supply has also been given to the ESP32, to the buzzer, and to the OLED. That's all for the circuit connection.
So here is the code description of the transmitter one. Firstly, we have added some libraries like Wi-Fi, ESP now, and then two libraries for the LCD display. Then we are describing the pins for the microphone and as well as the size for the LCD screen. Next, when we move forward to the reward setup, here we firstly at the serial begin where we are catching the values of the analog input, and adding the after adding the delay, we are displaying the values on the LCD. And thirdly, we are transmitting the signal to the receiver. After that, the receiver code will be shown you by Sath.
So here in the receiver code, as you have seen in the transmitter code, we have included some libraries, including the Wi-Fi library, the ESP32 Now library, and two Adafruit libraries for the OLED. Note that these Wi-Fi libraries have just been included as we are using some functions from the Wi-Fi library. We are not enabling any sort of Wi-Fi of the ESP32s in the both in the receiver and transmitter code. So we have then described the pinouts for the OLED. We have attached the SCL pin to the GPIO pin 32 of the ESP32 and SGA to the GPIO 21. Then we have just given some dimensions for the text that has been displayed upon the OLED, and then simply we have in moving towards the void setup, we have just at the beginning we have just cleared the OLED screen for the upcoming display, and then moving furthermore, we have set the threshold that if the mic value is the signal that is being received is greater than 10, then we turn on the buzzer for 1 second and turn it off. And afterwards, it's just the setup that is basically receiving the signal from the transmitter. That's all from the receiver side.
And all of this code will be given to you in the description of the video. मदीन भाई बोलो here we can see that Abdul Mateen is blowing air from there, and it is going out from there. Again Mateen bhai, again yeah.